Welcome to Global Risk Community Chat. Today, our guest is Josh Kroeker. I'm very happy to have you here today, Josh. Welcome.
Thank you. Very happy to be here as well.
Yeah. Nice. So before we jump right into the topic, can you give a quick introduction of yourself and also of Contour?
Yeah, happy to. So my name is Josh Kroeker. I'm the Chief Product Officer of Contour. And digitizing trade finance has been a passion project of mine for a long time. So I come from the banking side. So I've spent most of my career with HSBC and in Canada and in Hong Kong, where I led a lot of the digitization efforts to try to remove process, remove paper, help trade to grow globally, as well as the accessibility of finance of global trade. And we think technology can play a big role in that.
Yeah. Thank you for that short introduction as well. So let's then, I would say, jump right into the topic. And today we are discussing how technology is transforming the future of the trade finance in particular. And could you perhaps share your expertise on that part about maybe blockchain's potential to digitalize this trade?
Sure. And this is really the story of how Contour in particular got started. So when I was looking at digitization of trade for a bank, most of those efforts would normally be with either the bank trying to build a platform for their customers, or working with a sort of a fintech or a third party that might be trying to digitize things with sort of a centralized solution, meaning they want everyone to come and use their platform. All the data would sit in that one platform, and then that way you could digitize trade. But what we saw was that single banks couldn't really get scale because as big as they are, they're not everywhere. And they relied on other systems to connect with the other banks in the network. So you ended up having this disconnected system where the bank would use one solution to speak with their customers, and then a different solution to speak with other banks or other participants in the ecosystem. And digitization really comes from connectivity. You have to connect everyone onto a common network if you want to digitize a process. But doing that on one centralized fintech was always too hard. Trying to get all of the world's data that relates to global trade for one centralized fintech, that's far too powerful of a company to create or of a database to create. Too much risk involved. And this is where blockchain really comes in, because blockchain is a decentralized network structure, which means you can have banks and corporates all around the world connect to a common network, stay in sync, do all of their business activities in a really streamlined and trusted way, and yet everyone keep their data separate and only share the data with their trading parties when they want to. So this was a huge breakthrough that allowed for a lot of collaboration in the industry to take place, especially among banks, which I was happy to be a part of, and that's how Contour was formed. So Contour is a network of banks and corporates founded by banks to solve this problem. We operate applications on top of that network to solve specific problems related to trade finance. Right now, we're focusing on the letter of credit process, but that's what we are. We're this network that's here to join together all of these banks and corporates in a common way and to make complicated and paper intensive products like a letter of credit more digital and more accessible.
Yeah. That sounds actually quite interesting. And also, like, what I hear a lot, of course, is that, like the digitalization or, like the digital transformation is, of course, especially with this pandemic, has been a quite big must, of course. And, as also from the corporate side or bank side or in general, the global trade. But I also hear you talk about a decentralized network on that end, like a blockchain-based trade network. So can you maybe share some more about this? What does it mean to join a block-based trade finance network, or what you guys do differently? Because some of our audience may not fully understand what that entails.
Yeah, sure. No, I think this is a huge trend, not just in trade finance, but in general. People are now talking about, NFTs and Web 3.0 and, decentralized finance. All that means is we're moving into a more decentralized world, where when you connect to a network, you don't need to give that network everything. You don't need to onboard all of your data into that third-party network to get the value. You can join that network, but you can keep your own data, and you can decide for what transactions, who do you want to share that data with. So we're moving away from monetization of data, which is how a lot of platforms, look at Facebook and Google and Amazon, all these places, they've made business models based on centralization of data. And they said, if you come and give me your data, I will give you a solution, for a reduced price. Why are all these products free? Because you're giving them all of your data. So this is something that's very, very different now, where everybody wants control over their own data. This is especially true in the enterprise space, but they still want that connectivity. They still want to have those application features that you get from everyone being in one place. And blockchain really marries these two really well. Everyone keeps their own data, but everyone can stay connected with the people that they want to, just not to me. As a platform operator, I have no access to the data in our network. If you ask me the dollar value of transactions that happen on Contour, I can't tell you. The only thing I could tell you is how many transactions each party did for billing purposes, but that's it. I won't even be able to tell you who they traded with.
Yeah. That is also clear. So then on that end, I want to just focus on one more thing, and that is, I hear, of course, you mentioning Amazon or Google or Contour as well. And obviously, like, these all provide some kind of solutions, right? It might be, cloud-based or even like self-hosted. So from a customer's point of view or a client's point of view, like, what does that mean? What can you say about this?
Yeah, so when you normally join a regular SaaS, or you purchase some sort of enterprise software that's usually providing a network function, it's usually a cloud-based service. So what that means is you're sort of allowing for data to be created on the cloud, and then you allow that data to then add value to some process. You may want to integrate it into some of your internal processes. But we offer flexibility when you join Contour. So we're not saying join our platform and there's one way to do it. We're saying join our platform and here are your options and how to join our network. So either at the far end of one spectrum, you can say you want this to be as easy as possible. You just want to log into a website, start creating transactions, add some users, and go as if it's a SaaS platform. Then we will set you up as a SaaS member. It's the lowest cost offering, and you can start transacting in the very same day. Your data is still separate from everybody else's, so it's still decentralized. Contour still doesn't have access to that data, but it's still offered in very much like a normal SaaS offering. And that's the easiest, cheapest, fastest way to go. Now, if you have higher requirements, maybe the regulatory requirements to keep data in a certain country, or you wanted to keep it, say, on premise, well, normally, if I was offering a SaaS solution, I'd say, no, you can't do that. But with a blockchain network, I can say no problem. And you can install the full stack of the application, connect to the same network as all of those SaaS members, but keep all of your data on premise or in any cloud provider that you want. And offering both of those solutions allow you to go after both, large global banks that are heavily regulated and have a lot of rules to mandate, and an SME that just wants a good solution that makes their life easier. And we provide solutions for the entire market.
Yeah, that sounds actually quite, then also given your customers quite a broad choice of solutions. So that's quite nice. We are running out of our time. So I want to ask one last question. And that is, if there is one thing you would want our audience to take away from this chat or remember from this chat or start implementing, what would that be?
Yeah, no, I think digitization of trade is now here. You don't have to wait. This technology is actually quite mature for this use case. We've been working on this since 2018, and we're really ready to scale these networks. It's not about choosing one solution either. It's about choosing a number of solutions. You're never going to be able to digitize a complex process like global trade by just signing up to one platform. You may want to sign up to one shipping platform, a trade finance platform like Contour, maybe a port platform in a few of your important destinations and manufacturing centers. So I think there's a lot out there available today that people maybe don't realize. And all of these guys are all talking with each other about how we can connect and provide a seamless end-to-end solution. And really, we're just sort of waiting for that tipping point of adoption. And we're going to start to see a lot of that happening in the real world starting, I think, this year, which is really exciting.
Yes, that sounds really exciting. And I hope we really do see like a proper, digitization soon enough. So with that being said, unfortunately, we have run out of our time for today. So I want to thank you once again for joining us today and sharing your insights on this and then also your expertise.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you as well. Have a great day.
Thanks.